Greetings once again, viewers, after a bit of a vacation. Not a vacation. 15 seconds. Greetings once again, viewers, after a bit of a break. I am back with some more trial map action. Next up, I'm going to play map 25. This is the map I was alluding to in the previous video. I played through it on my cartridge and kind of liked it, so I guess let's go with it. Map number 25. It is a bit of a classic. It is the map Land's End from the previous Advance Wars games, and we are playing as Tasha. So finally, we're actually playing Tasha in a map that she's good in, because now we have an air specialist, there are airports, and we're up against Will, a ground specialist, so this should be interesting. Something that most people, I don't think, notice about Land's End is that it is actually shaped like the country of Italy, because you can see that it has that boot shape that Italy is famous for. Yeah, this map actually originated in Super Famicom Wars, and a couple of maps back then actually were shaped like real-world countries, because Egg Islands is kind of like Australia, maybe just a little bit, and I'm sure there's at least one other, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So starting off, we have a base all the way over here, because I think this is based on the Dual Strike incarnation of the map. So I'm going to get a bike here. This bike is basically going to go up to this base, or factory, as I should be calling it, and these infantry are just going to capture the surrounding properties, and once we have airports and a little bit of money, then we'll be able to send out the Air Force, and that's going to be very useful. We definitely want to stop Will from taking control of this base right here, so after I start capturing this airport, I'm going to get an early recon, because there are these nice, convenient roads. The recon is going to be able to stop the bike from capturing that base. And about these roads, those of you who have played Super Famicom Wars probably remember that this map did not have any roads originally. Well, not absolutely no roads, but there was a bit of a shortage of them. Instead, the roads had railways. And I've got enough for well, I don't have any airports yet, so no B-copters yet. And rails. There was a train unit in Super Famicom Wars. Like, the railways didn't exactly make for good map design back then, because you could not walk along the rails all that well. So it made getting infantry up to the cities to capture them just a pain, and using ground forces with a pain. In the original version of the map, there were ports that you could use, and I typically clear that map in Super Famicom Wars. Well, I've only cleared it one time, but I did so by using battleships, because you could build battleships in that map. Okay, so we've got a T-copter coming. I have no idea where it's going to go, so I think I'll wait until it lands in order to... How much money do I have? 19,000 and 11,000 income. So the question is, do I buy anything now? I think I'll get an anti-air over here for the time being. I don't know if I need it in the south. If the enemy decides to land in infantry there, then I will need one, and there'll be plenty of time to stop any capture shenanigans. It's going for the base. Okay, so the anti-air was a good play. And as for this guy... Oh, we have to be very careful and attack from the planes, otherwise the tank will come up there. So I've got enough money. Let's get an early bomber, because that's a good play. And finish these captures. I'm going to CO that bomber on the next turn, just letting you know. And some infantry here. That infantry is basically just going to capture the cities along the other side of this mountain. Since it's a Super Famicom Wars map, Land's End is one of those maps that's kind of too big for its own good. I mean, Duo Falls was pretty much the right size, but with this you just have all of this unused sea in the corner, and that's really, really bad. It's a waste of space. And this infantry is going for this city, which is very strange. I've actually never seen that happen. Maybe it's because of the anti-air. Maybe I should have actually built a regular tank instead. Well, anyways, we have to finish stopping this capture. That recon is going to get totaled, by the way. It's probably not going to be destroyed completely, but I have to stop it now. And now I'm going to fly my CO'd bomber all the way up here. Tasha's CO zone is 1, which makes filling her CO meter rather difficult, but we'll do our best. Will has CO'd his medium tank, so gotta watch for that. And this anti-air, I guess I could send it down here in order to deal with the infantry and stop it from capturing. Not that this is a huge problem if they get one more city, but, you know. I don't need any more units. So the reason for the early CO'd bomber is because the CO bomber, well, a Tasha bomber specifically, is so strong that it will scare off the enemy from trying to make any moves. Like, this recon was very lucky to live on 1 health, so let's get it into the city for repairs. And with this amount of power, I can basically one-shot anything. I'm going to look at Tasha's CO meter. I get the feeling that her CO unit is how you're going to get most of your... what was I saying just now? Never mind. So it's a CO zone of 1, but air units get a very hefty attack boost and some defense to go along with it. CO power is apparently Guile's move from Street Fighter. Nah, it's not actually, but Sonic Boom, like, you can make any joke you want about it. You can make a Street Fighter joke, you can make a Sonic joke. Anyways, oh, the infantry actually went for an attack instead. Interesting. These are some weird moves from these units, even though they're not all that consequential. Anyway, Sonic Boom just gives all of your air units +2 move, and that probably sounds really underpowered, like when you compare it to the massive amount of defense that Wayland gets. So what do I need here? I think I need ground units now, because we have some anti-air units coming in. So, let's make it... What do I make it? Early rocket, maybe? Decisions. Yeah, I think an early rocket is a good play here. Like, I'm still kind of in the capture phase. So yeah, +2 movement, probably helpful, but, like, even... Like, Will actually boosts more units with his CO power, so his power is probably more valuable. I don't know, I think the tier lists consider Tasha underpowered, but I haven't checked them in a long time. Oh, that was very lucky. That saves us an attack. For purposes of the power score. Now, the real beauty of the early CO bomber here is that I can just one-shot anything that tries to take control of the base. And the anti-airs are too scared to move in because they know they'll get one shot. Yes, income is increasing. And for this medium tank... Let's see, rocket here, and then... Let's see if the medium tank goes for... What'll it go for? It might go for the recon. This is not, like, nearly a valuable enough exchange for the enemy to actually go for it, but you never know. Right, so now's the time to start saving up a little bit, because I want to be able to produce bombers every turn. So what have they got? They haven't got a whole lot. Look at how little they're building. Like, they're building war tanks out of this base, and that's very odd. Well, this infantry has finished capturing, so I think I will get a regular infantry here, and then a T-copter. And that'll give me enough money for a bomber starting on the next turn. So yes, the anti-airs are not moving in. They should really try and stop this bomber, but they're not doing it. And this medium tank did not move in either. So I'll just keep doing this to build up CO zone. Now I've got a zone of 2. And with that, I can continue with the little capturing spree I've got going on here. I guess this bike has to go for this city now. That's going to take a while to get to because bikes in forests should honestly be a meme. So what I think I'm going to do is there's no anti-air like in range of the bomber at all or anywhere near it. So I think what I'm going to do is this. This is probably going to look a little weird, but I'm basically creating a blockade here so that if the enemy tries to attack either of these units, they get bodied by the rocket. Now it's time to build some more bombers, and I'm actually going to do something that you might consider really strange. I'm going to, for the first time in this playthrough, build a rig, because you can see that this bomber is almost out of ammo. It's going to run out of ammo really quickly. And with how much ammo and fuel you get in Days of Ruin, I think it's very much worth making a rig. I don't necessarily need, like, a, Oh, the enemy built something. I should really look at what they built. Oh, it's a fighter. Okay. This could get a little hairy. Probably because it's a Harrier jet. I just thought of that one on the fly. And I made another pun with the word fly, because it's air units. Okay. Enough of that. Moving on. This is within the CO zone, so this is actually very good. And... yep, still gonna keep destroying these infantry. Probably looks like a waste of attack turns, because, like, I should probably get rid of the CO unit, but as I've stated, if you get rid of the CO unit, it makes the enemy able to build another CO unit. So, now that that's done, let's keep capturing like this. And I think I'll keep everything where it is at this time, but now it's time to... that fighter isn't going to be over here immediately, so now it's time for some missiles. Bet you thought I wouldn't build that, now did ya? And again, like with the bomber versus anti-air, it's going to scare the enemy off more than anything. Okay. Oh, I actually moved the rig one space too far. Now it can't pick up the infantry. Oops. Alright, so that's everything on that front. And he's very persistent in trying to capture. Oh, look what the fighter is doing! This is something that I was anticipating. Okay, so for all of the advancements that the AI has in this game, this is one really, really bad bug. The enemy is going to send its fighter and uselessly sit on a base of mine, even though I'm not using these. I mean, it might turn troublesome if they decide to try a sneak HQ capture, but I don't imagine they would. So... now that I'm, like, really close to the enemy now, let's see, well, this is a one-shot. That's crazy. And now my CO power is ready. I'm not even going to use it. I've got 2 air units. So, what now? If this bomber goes here... look at that damage, by the way. That's crazy. Like, that's the CO zone and the fact that it's a veteran unit. Oh, that's not going to be good for my score, but... stopping the capture was important. Okay, so with that, only one of the anti-airs can attack, so I don't know if the enemy is going to be confident enough. So the fighter is not really a threat right now, so let's just keep up what I'm doing right now. Maybe send the T-copter to pick up one of these infantry. And I don't really need a whole lot more. Like, I could build... I've got 21 bases right now, so it's 21,000 per turn. I think I will save up a little bit and just see what the enemy builds. Like, I know from experience that in a... yep, see? It's blocking my airport. That's so useless. But there's a lot of enemy anti-airs now. So who knows how this could go. And how much will this do? If I'm lucky... then, well, actually, I could move the bomber one space back, and then I wouldn't have to rely on luck. This is fine. Because that should give the rocket the boost it needs. To guarantee it. And this is also a one-shot. Tasha's boosts are really big. Yeah, I'm actually thinking that I would be surprised if the tier list still consider Tasha to be not that good, because I'm really showing her off right now. This is amazing. All these one-shots. This is going to guarantee 150 power, I think. Okay, so move up here, and I'll get supplied on the next turn, so this is a good spot for a temporary airport. Not something you thought you'd see in a trial map setting, right? Because, like, single player and player versus player, they just play so differently, I've noticed. Like, in player versus player, you actually want to be building a unit from every one of your bases every turn to keep your numbers up. But in single player, you don't have to do that as much, because you can build what you need when you need it. And as you can see, the enemy is still far too frightened to actually get in and start hitting things. That's another thing about Days of Ruin. It really wants you to just get into the action as quickly as possible. I'm going to capture this base now. So I've practically... like, I'm deep into the enemy territory. Like, some of you out there might be wondering if it's possible to sneak a T-copter over here very early in the game. Maybe, but I wouldn't try it, because the enemy, like, they're smart enough to know when that's about to happen, so they won't do it as often. Look at this. Anti-air on the base. 110. And I'm going to block the base now. This might draw in the enemy anti-airs, but that's okay. I kind of want them to come in. This bomber now has a defense boost because it's veteran level. Wow, I'm actually really enjoying playing Tasha. And this missile, I don't even know why I built it now, because the enemy, the only enemy air unit is all the way down there, and it's not doing anything. This is actually really funny. Okay, so now it's time for the bike to maybe work its way back up. Like, you can see how awful its movement is on forests. I'm glad I decided to do this, because this is turning out really fun. Something tells me I should get a fighter, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. All those anti-airs, and they really can't do anything, because if they try to move in, like, they're just gonna get blasted. Maybe they'll try and... Okay, now they're actually attacking. Look at that exchange! 4 damage, and it took 8 in return? Are you kidding? Now, this mech actually did something to my anti-air, so that's worth a mention. But that's crazy. That is absolutely insane. And I'm glad for the temporary airport now, because this thing can actually start getting repairs. Can't shoot anything with a rocket. I'll use the recon on this. Now that base is mine, is the T-Copter in missile range? Oh, I would have flipped if it were in missile range. Okay, so now what? That's a good question. Now what? Well, you can move up, I think. That should be okay. Maybe this goes here? Like, this bomber is gonna get hit, but it's not gonna be worth a whole lot. Rocket's probably gonna go here. And if I drop the... I have to be careful now, because there's an enemy duster. But I wonder if the missile will be enough to scare it away. Okay, I've got 32,000 in my, vault here, so I think a fighter is warranted at this point. Let's just go ahead and get that. The bike's gonna keep moving up. So yeah, if you play this optimally, it's actually fun. 5 damage, and it took 6 in return. That is crazy. Okay, gotta watch this T-Copter, though, because it might go for a sneak capture. And I've also got to watch the anti-air's range now, so... As long as I think this through, it should be alright. I don't know where the T-Copter is going to go, so... I think it is time to get an anti-air down here. I just don't want that T-Copter to do anything silly and potentially embarrass me. Fighter comes up this way. I could just, well, the Duster is going to get rid of the bomber if I try that. It's going to get rid of one of my bombers if I don't, like, block it off. So I will, in fact, block it off. The rocket can take care of this. And, you know, I'm starting to get a sizable air force, so that CO power might come in handy real soon. Starting to think about a second rig. Wouldn't that be a hoot? Let's make sure all of my units are covered by the missile. Definitely. Okay. Oh, I should have gone for a capture. I'm silly. I was actually, like, making a little blockade here. I'll start capturing on the next turn. And I think I can start... I want to get, like, some ground units, too, to be perfectly honest. That only leaves me enough for a B-copter, but that's fine. Though I should be careful about how many units I'm building, because technique is still an important... Oh, the Duster went south! Are you kidding me? Now the fighter I built was a waste. Oh, there's an enemy fighter now, so maybe not quite a waste. Seriously, though, the Duster went down south. How crazy. Do I hit the Duster first? Well, the infantry hasn't started capturing yet. So I better start hitting the duster. Meanwhile, up here... Yeah, now the question is, they've built up quite a defense, so... Now I have to take them down somehow. I think the anti-air is going to come back for repairs. It's not in a good spot right now. So I'll capture, and then... Let's surround the infantry with, of all things... No, there's an enemy fighter there. I need to be more careful about that. Defense is going to be very high, though. Okay. I think I gotta just move in with a recon. Do some damage to the mech. That's to prevent it from potentially damaging the capturing infantry, even though I think it's not gonna live much longer anyways. The medium tank comes up. Rocket moves forward. Missile can stay where it is. Meanwhile, over here, the B-copter can start moving. And, well, I can get ground units now, so I think I'm going to focus on that. The CO power is still an option, but maybe on the next turn. It depends on how many with the movement boost would be able to hit the anti-airs. Because the war tank is lured in. This mech is probably going to get killed by the infantry. For sure. It did the one damage it needed to stop the capture. So, oh, they've left all of their units are in range now. Okay. So I've got a 7 HP bomber. You know what? I think now is a really good time for the CO power. Because not only will this give the movement boost, it gives, again, I think it gives the CO zone boost to all of your units. So all of our air units are about to get that massive attack boost. Also, for some reason, this little animation plays on all of your units, even though not all of them are affected. It's a bit different from the other Wars games, where only the affected units would get the animation. But yeah, you can see right there. Just one shot, all of their... Do I have a bomber that's close enough to hit this thing? Well, it's not going to do enough damage. The 7 HP bomber could come out if it wanted to. 82! This is so broken. Well, Tasha's not really a super top-tier broken CO, but you can see that she can be quite powerful. No, that's a silly move. I wouldn't want to do that. I guess the T-copter has to come up here. And I would have loved to finish off the war tank, but it will take out a chunk of her money, so it's fine. Or his money, excuse me. I'm talking about Will, not Tasha. So yeah, this is what I'm sticking with, I think. Oh, can't forget about the units down here. So that was actually a sizable amount of damage. They did manage to take down one of the bombers, so that's nice. These damaged units are probably going to block off the airports, assuming they... You know, so much money spent on a fighter, like... A fighter costs 20,000, but 2 anti-airs costs only 14,000. So that's a little bit silly in my opinion. Now, I don't want to lose the potential for an S rank this late in the round. It's only, what, day 17. I'm going a little bit slowly, to be honest. Like, something tells me I should have had this wrapped up by now. I don't know what my record is. Okay, you go ahead and finish this thing off. You can get in there. But it's pretty safe to say that they really don't have much in the way of anti-air forces left. That's probably not a good exchange because the fighter is on an airport. But no matter. Time to start charging meter again. Like, I don't think there's really any big threats anymore. We could drop our infantry if we... Well, there's a lot of infantry surrounding them, and I kind of want to not have the T-Copter take any damage quite yet, so you can start healing. And really, do I need that many more units? So I'll have those two heal down there. I've got the money for it. I'm not really sure how much more I need. There's only one enemy anti-air right now. I could use an anti-air of my own, actually. Maybe a fighter is warranted, but I could also trap the fighter. So... can I hit the fighter from here? No. There's no way to hit the fighter from there. It's kind of unfortunate that the CO unit took damage, because now I can't really capitalize on the CO zone. Not as much as I'd like, anyways. Can I get through here? I'll just go ahead and destroy that. I probably could have used this other full HP bomber. Okay, so with all of that out of the way, I think it's time to start working on the HQ and blocking off all of the bases. Get in there, get rid of this. Yeah, for sure I don't need any more units at this point. So no more builds. I'd say I've got this place on lockdown. So I will be able to clear it in 20 turns. That was kind of my goal. My unspoken goal. 20 turns. See, this is why a CO zone of 1 is so strange to work with, because you might want to attack with the CO unit, but you've also got to position the CO unit so that others can get the boost, like so. And in this case, since the CO unit is damaged, I'm totally alright with it. And capture, and someone should probably finish off the infantry before it decides to damage the capturing infantry. No way to do that, though. Fighter is completely safe. My units need some more fuel. See, that's why the rig was actually pretty good. Alright, for sure I don't think this infantry could damage the infantry on the HQ, which it did. That's totally alright. I'm not going to meet my goal after all. It's going to be 21 turns instead, but I don't really imagine that it's that big a deal. I could lose another unit, though, which would be... I lost the CO unit, as a matter of fact. Kind of late for that, to be honest. Okay, I know what to do. You are under arrest. Yes, I have used ground units to trap the enemy fighter. It's still so very funny when that happens. And there's still another fighter down there. Like, Will, what were you doing with that air unit? That's so weird. So, S rank, what's the score gonna be? Ah, 150 power, and I was just shy of perfect tech. That's unfortunate. And I was apparently only a single turn late on speed, so I would have loved for this to be 400 points. But I guess I guess it's too late for that now. Very easy to get 400 points on that map. Of course we won. You're right, Tasha. Tasha is crazy in that map. See, that's a map that's actually really good. Even though it's a repeat of a Super Famicom Wars map, I really like that they chose that to show off Tasha. That's actually... I'm going to go ahead and say that that's actually a pretty good map. I'll say that, even though it's a repeat of a previous War Room map. Alright, so that took 30 minutes, so I guess I'm going to stop recording here. Unfortunate that the video only comprised one map, but that's fine. And next up, I'll take a look at some other maps that I might try and clear, or maybe get S ranks on all the maps in the campaign that I missed. But until then, I'll see you for the next map, everybody.